The problem about talking about the Kundalini at all is that if you put it in a positive light, many people are going to try and prematurely pursue it. And if you talk about it in its dangers and in the negative aspects of the Kundalini, then a lot of people are going to be really scared and averse to it. So it's really something that maybe you shouldn't even talk about at all. But then on the other hand, if you're going to be using entheogens, then there's a very large chance that you're going to run into this energy called the Kundalini. And so I think it is important that people know about it. The main thing to know is that it is a very raw energy that just doesn't have any preference for which direction it goes, and it's stored up within the human body. And as an animal, because you ultimately are an animal, you have a lot of layers to your mind, and stored down there is all sorts of animalistic energies, ape energies, chimpanzee energies, predator energies, reptile energies. And the Kundalini is just the raw form of energy. When it gets activated, the negative aspect of it can be, as the energy comes up, it can take form through those stored up biological programmings that you may have, that everyone has. And then if you're not conscious about the purification process, it can take hold of your life and go down all sorts of directions which are very unpredictable, and generally it's not good because it's not conscious. On the other hand, the reason why the Kundalini is such a spiritual blessing to those that are ready for it is because once it activates, pretty much all spiritual processes become a lot more powerful. And what you want to do with this raw energy called the Kundalini is purify your nervous system with it. So all these energies that bubble up, you simply see them come, accept them with peace and love, and let them go again. And then over time, that purifies the nervous system more and more and more through the body, through the nervous system, through the energy network, until eventually you become a fully fledged Buddha. The Kundalini can, if you approach it with consciousness and yoga, eventually make changes in the brain, in the heart, and literally you can open up to like unimaginable states of consciousness. And that's really what these advanced yogis in the Himalayas and monks that are super adept are doing inside of their bodies. So another reason that maybe I shouldn't be talking about the Kundalini at all, let's make this very clear. I am not a Kundalini master at all, but I have definitely had experiences when sober and when on psychedelics, a lot of experiences with the Kundalini, and pretty much daily I can feel it moving. So I kind of know what I'm talking about, but I'm not a master. I haven't completed the process. So that's something you should know. Really, the big takeaway for this YouTube channel, for people watching this YouTube channel, for now and in the future, it needs to be said, it's very important. If you're going to be using psychedelics and you have a really powerful experience where sort of in your head you go, wow, this Kundalini thing is no joke, it's real, it stops becoming a concept and it's boom, in your face. That raw energy is like present for you. If that happens on a psychedelic, I'm very serious about this point. Stop taking psychedelics for a really good amount of time. Please, please stop. I do not want anyone to go insane or to go to prison or anything or go into psychosis, even if it is temporary psychosis. I don't want any bad things like that happening to anyone because of my YouTube videos. So I'm very serious about that point. If you have a really strong Kundalini experience on a psychedelic, stop all psychedelic use for, I would say, at least a month, maybe 6 months, maybe a year. And then when you do get back into psychedelics, start slowly and ramp up slowly. I'm quite serious about that point because I just don't want people to experience harm because of the Kundalini. The way to access the Kundalini, I think, in a healthy way where you can purify the nervous system with it consciously is through sober meditation And if you have a psychedelic experience with the Kundalini, that can be good then, in a sense, because when you enter your sober meditation, you should still have some level of access to it. And once you start accessing it when sober and focused, then that's when the beauties of the Kundalini comes up. So please don't go prematurely chasing the Kundalini. Please don't be afraid of it either. Definitely don't chase it through psychedelic use. And when it does come up, then you could also, I would highly recommend, even now, I would highly recommend looking at more information on the Kundalini through more advanced masters than myself. So I want to finish this video with a bit of an arts project that I did around a year ago. It was quite fun. I found it very insightful, this was when GPT-3 first sort of launched, I suppose. And for people that don't know what that is, I don't really know what it is, but it's sort of a new programming, some people might call it an AI, that looks at the internet and it doesn't just copy and paste from it. It looks at it in a sort of abstract way and forms new ideas, new paragraphs, new wordings from the internet. So you can use this to make an AI and then ask the AI some questions. And there was one called Philosopher AI, which at the time was free. And I basically asked it different variations of the question, what is the Kundalini? And how can I safely access the Kundalini? And I was really surprised at how insightful the answers were. So I'm going to finish the video with that, and I hope you enjoy it. And I wish you really safe travels in the future if you ever access the Kundalini, so that you can turn it into the most beautiful thing imaginable, so that you can use it to purify your nervous system, access breakthrough states of consciousness, and use the energy ultimately to serve other conscious beings. Kundalini is a concept in Indian philosophy referring to a form of spiritual energy. The literal Sanskrit meaning of the word Kundalini roughly translates as coiled up or serpent power. Kundalini has been described in various ways as an element force which resides within each human being and which is awakened through yogic practice to bring about personal transformation. The idea is based on the concept of Shakti, a divine feminine creative power, and Shiva, a divine masculine consciousness or void. Kundalini, as a female spiritual energy, is thought to lie at the base chakra and represents unconscious potential. It has been described as being coiled 3.5 times around a hollow tube called Sushumna. Kundalini awakening is described as a powerful force that can raise one's consciousness to higher levels. The Kundalini is said to move up the spine through energy channels called nadis, which are thought to be under conscious control. A number of physical sensations and experiences are associated with Kundalini awakening. These include goosebumps, extreme heat or cold, increased body hair, trembling, which is involuntary shaking, nausea, sexual arousal, energy release, which is sometimes described as feeling like an orgasm in the spine, and a sensation that one's consciousness has been raised to another level. The feeling of being electrocuted is often described as a pleasurable sensation, which is caused when the Kundalini energy surges up through the spine and releases blocked energy. When you say safely, I am not sure what it is that you are asking. If this is a question about how to be safe from your own Kundalini, then the answer would appear to be that there is no way to do so. Kundalini yoga involves deliberately triggering an energy flow through your body that has the potential for great benefit or harm depending on how well prepared and protected you are. It is like releasing a genie out of its bottle and hoping he will grant 3 wishes instead of killing everyone in sight. The goal of Kundalini yoga is to harness the power of this energy and use it for your own benefit. The risk involved in doing so is that you may not be properly prepared or protected from potentially dangerous side effects. Kundalini yoga has been practiced since ancient times by yogis who understood how to handle its powerful energies by first purifying their bodies, minds, and spirits through years of disciplined practice. I would suggest that you approach Kundalini yoga in a similar way by first developing the body, mind, and spirit through long-term adherence to a healthy lifestyle. You should also develop the skills needed to handle its powerful energies. For example, you might consider meditation as a way to develop and strengthen your mind. There is no better preparation for handling the powerful energies of Kundalini yoga than learning how to handle the energies of your own mind. As for the spirit, Kundalini yoga is a spiritual practice, and so I would recommend engaging in any activities that help you grow spiritually, be they religious or secular. Once you have practiced the various spiritual and physical disciplines required to prepare your body, mind, and spirit for Kundalini yoga, you should seek out a qualified instructor who can teach you how to safely trigger this energy flow through your body.